Hello, my name's James. I'm a portrait photographer from Portsmouth in the UK. You've probably not heard of me, and I welcome you to this, my studio, and the Evolution of Style workshop, part 2. In part 1, we looked at natural beauty, didn't we, Zoe?
We did.
Here she is, the naturally beautiful Zoe. She's joined us back for part 2, where we have elevated everything to a much more editorial style. We've moved away from natural makeup and we've brought in a makeup artist I'm going to say hello to now. Say hello to Fiona.
Hello.
And as you can tell, Fiona much prefers being behind the camera. Come in here. Fiona's done an amazing job with Zoe here by elevating the makeup. We've elevated it in terms of bolder eyes, more contrast there with the mascara, but most notably there, the red lipstick. Super defined there on Zoe. There we go. Go close on Zoe's. You can't miss that. That is the thumbnail, which is perfect. And so we need to match our editorial stylings and our editorial head in terms of photography to match. And we're going to do that in a few ways. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the light. Previously in the previous workshop, the beginner workshop, we used an entry-level light with just a simple reflector cap, kept the costs down nice and low. We've elevated that now by employing this. It's a beauty dish with a soft cover on the front of it. So this is like a bespoke made cover that comes across, just softens that light slightly. The beauty dish is going to give us a really sharp fall off of light, which is going to increase the contrast in the portrait, but with control. Tiny little movements of this beauty dish are going to change this portrait entirely. We're still going to be working on the white background, and we're still going to be working close, trying to emulate everything that we've got on the mood board that we set up over here, remember, of some of the finest and the best Vogue covers throughout history. We've kept that on there so that Zoe has an idea in terms of what we're looking to get from the shoot and gives us posing ideas, which I know a lot of photographers struggle with. And if you are struggling for posing ideas, go to nofussmus.com, hit the subscribe button on there, and you can download our 100 ways to pose a model document. Print it out yourselves, and you've got 100 different poses there at your fingertips. Very simply, we're going to ask Zoe just to come all the way to the back of the room here, and we're going to move our light real close, and we're just going to get our first shot just to see how this beauty dish is reacting to the light and to the environment in the room. We're shooting on a Canon R6 with a 24-105 f4 lens. The reason why I'm using the 24-105, it's not too long, so it's not going to compress any details in the face, but also if I am shooting on a longer lens, I've got a 70-200 I could be using, it means I'll be standing all the way back here. And that means there's a lot of distance between me and our model Zoe. I want there to be a little bit of a keener relationship, less of me shouting instructions at the back of the room, and more of a connection. And by getting closer, I can feel that connection between photographer and model, and the implicit nature of communication, meaning that you want reaction and you want flow posing, you want good natural feel to the images as they come through, and a good relationship with the model always comes across in camera. What we're going to do is we're going to set our light up here, as you can see, 45 degrees round, 45 degrees up, and just facing 45 degrees down there slightly, so that if we were to draw a line from the middle of this light all the way down, it would go just above Zoe's eye line there. What we're going to do is we're going to take a first test shot, ISO 100 to maintain maximum image quality. We're going to shoot at around about f8. Going to see how that looks in camera, and 1/160th of a second, just to go for simple shutter sync speed. Nothing faster than that, because this flashlight can't cope with high shutter speed sync. So we're just going to do it at 1/160th, just so that we freeze everything in there, but we're not pushing into an area where we won't get exposure. First pose here, fairly stoic, just looking straight down through the camera there for me if we can. 3, lift the chin up, 2, 1, and relax. Let's just see how that one looks. There we go, and as we can see on this picture here, really cool. We can see that we've got a shadow on the left-hand side of the image as we look at it. The exposure is fine. We're looking at the histogram there, and the exposure's coming across just fine. We've got lovely fall off there on the left-hand side of the face. There's real contrast in that image there, and it's really heightening that makeup, which we spent so much time and effort to produce. So the superstar of these types of sessions, hair, makeup, fashion. Hair, makeup, fashion. So that's what we're trying to elevate with this type of shot. We're going to get Zoe just to come 2 steps forward towards me. And the reason for this is we're going to try and eliminate that shadow on the back wall so that we get a cleaner white background there. We've moved the light to match where Zoe's now stood off the wall. So it's still comparatively the same distance away from Zoe that it was in the first shot, but it's now further away from the back. What this means is there may be a slight fall off to the back wall, so the back wall might go a tiny bit grayer, but it means that that shadow should fall a little bit further to the left-hand side and crucially off camera from where I'm shooting. Let's just have a look at that there. Same shot again there for me, Zoe. Chin up for me, 3, 2, 1, and go. And let's have a look at that shot there. And just as I predicted, there we go, a nice clean backdrop because the shadow has moved away. I quite like the plain grey backdrop there. It's a tiny little bit darker than white, and what that does is it really elevates the fashion item here with regards to that white neckline and increases that contrast. If that background was pure white, we're actually going to showcase what that looks like next, because we were going to employ a second light for a completely different reason, but I figure I'll show it to you now. So this is our second light here. Come and have a look. This is our Elinchron 1, completely wireless flash unit. I've just put a reflector cap on it there. And what we're going to do is we're just going to angle it down slightly, give a little bit of power around about halfway, and that now should expose that white backdrop to elevate that to almost pure white in the backdrop. We haven't moved where Zoe is from the original picture, still in the same position, chin up just a fraction, 3, 2, 1, go. Let's see how that looks. And there we go. So by adding a background light there, we can see that the background has completely changed from a slightly grey backdrop to that high key backdrop. But what has that done to the picture? Well, what it's done is it's really distracted the neckline away there from the fashion aspect of this image. And we really want to see detail in there, and we want to see it pop. And that white only pops because it's up against grey. So we're not going to use the background light, and we're not going to aim for that white backdrop. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to use this as a high-end hair light. Because you can see we've also added extra styling on this from the first shoot by styling Zoe's hair with this center parting, this slightly more gloss look, and a ponytail there, which we'll showcase in just a moment. By turning the power of this light down here, we can now turn it towards Zoe. So I've taken about 2.5 stops off of there, off of this light. Just to test it, I'm going to turn off my beauty dish. And we're just going to see what effect that hair light has, not only on Zoe, but also on that backdrop, because there will be some spill going onto that backdrop there. 3, 2, 1, go. This should just be a little kicker light across the side. Oh, and there we go. Not too much spill on that backdrop, which is pretty good. A nice kicker on the side of the head there, which is on the opposite side to our main light here. So we put the kicker here on the left-hand side as we look at it, and our main light is here on the right-hand side. Now, we're gonna just turn this light back on. It's in exactly the same position as it was, and we're just gonna see how these two lights now marry up together. Lifting the chin up again there for me. It's exactly the same pose there for me, Zoe. 3, 2, 1, go. And there we go. We have that kicker light now separating us from that grey backdrop and adding to the glossy feel of this high-end fashion portrait. It elevates the hair, it elevates the outfit, and crucially, it elevates the makeup that we've implemented in here. Zoe's doing some funny poses there, and she laughs, but that's exactly what we're going to do now. Here, we're just going to do a little bit of flow posing. And if you want to learn more about flow posing, click on this button up here, because we'll discuss flow posing in a whole video about how we get models to flow pose. But every time you see a flash, just want you just to do something cute, something different, something cool with the expression. All I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this slightly lower angle here, keep the focal length the same, and just keep shooting. I'm not going to move at all. In 3, 2, 1, go. 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 It's good. And relax. And by making very small adjustments, every time we take a picture, we've achieved with 2 lights, oh, look at that, a really high-end fashion look to those images. But what if we want to put a little bit of sizzle on the steak on this intermediate 2 light workshop? What if we want to just elevate everything that we've done slightly? What if we want to add a tiny little bit of pop that marries to the rest of the image? It's quite a monochromatic image, this one. And by that I mean there's really only sort of like one color dominating the fashion side of it, but there is another color that's dominating the makeup side of it, and that's Zoe's red lips. So what we can do in this instance is we can just pop a little gel, and you'll come and see this, because I searched when I first started photography and looking for videos on photography about 15 years ago. I must have searched for a whole day to find out how you attach gels to lights without burning through them. Then I realized most photographers just stick them on with a bit of Gorilla Tape like that, and I've been doing that ever since. So now that light there has been changed. All of the light that will come through it now will come through red, and that kicker light now won't be white, it'll be a nice glossy red coming through. We don't need to get Zoe to do anything different to what she did previously. She just needs to do exactly the same thing. Small side step this way, back in where we were. Me, I'm gonna go slightly lower again. Again, sort of half length in there, because we can always crop in, but I'm not trying to do full length, and I'm not trying to go wide angle because I don't want to distort the image. I'm certainly shooting above 50mm on the focal length. And every time you see a flash from the first pose, lift the chin up, part the lips, not too high. Lift the chin up, part the lips, and 3, 2, 1, change it. Change it. Change it. Change it. Change it. Change it. Eyes to me. 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands around the face. That's lovely. Change it. One more, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, that's good. Eyes off. There, 3, 2, 1. Looking a little bit of a surprised expression as you look off camera. There we go, almost like an intake of breath. Go. Good, nice shots. And we got a real range there with that added accent of the red light, elevating that portrait slightly and just giving us a slightly different feel to the shots. That's workshop number 2 on how to elevate the style within a photo shoot. Join us next week for the 3rd video, when by the time we finish the makeup and the styling and the hair, my new lights should have been charged, and we'll be able to use them in the next shoot to elevate everything to the next level. Zoe, come forward for me. You've been marvelous again today. Thank you so much. What have the kind people on the internet got to do now?
Elevate their life by liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment.
Say nice things, be kind. Go to nofussmus.com if you want to download our workshops on how to use 1 light, 2 light, and 3 light. We give you 10 completely different ways to use 1 light, 10 completely different ways to use 2 light. Guess how many ways to use 3 lights? 10 completely different ways to use 3 lights. You can go there, download your free posing guide, say nice things, tell your other photographer friends about it, and as ever, all the very best.